Sometimes evil doesn't wear horns or a devilish grin. It doesn't storm in with fire and fury. Instead, it whispers, smiles, and charms its way into your life. Evil hides behind masks of kindness, of intelligence, even love. But if you know what to look for, you can see through the disguise. In today's video, we'll uncover 5 subtle but powerful signs that you may be dealing with an evil person. 1. They take pleasure in other people's pain. Sometimes, the darkest people don't wear shadows. They don't lurk in alleys or come crashing through your doors. Sometimes, evil walks in wearing perfume, laughter, and charm. It sits across from you at dinner, praises your success, then secretly rejoices in your failure. And if you look closely, you'll see it the glint in their eye when someone else is suffering. This is one of the most dangerous signs. They take pleasure in the pain of others. This isn't ordinary jealousy or fleeting schadenfreude. This is deeper. It's when someone is emotionally fed by another's suffering. It energizes them. It amuses them. It makes them feel powerful. They may pretend to care nodding along as someone describes heartbreak, but beneath the surface, their comfort is hollow. Their presence is cold, because inside, they're enjoying the moment. Evil rarely shows its face all at once, but this is often one of the earliest cracks in the mask. Oh, how they show it. At first, it might just seem like a joke, a sarcastic remark when someone messes up, a meme at the wrong time, a little too much laughter when someone's hurting. You brush it off. They're just joking. That's their humor. But a pattern forms. They seem most alive when someone else is down. They rarely celebrate others' victories, but they're quick to notice and comment when someone fails. During tragedy, they become unusually alert. And when you're doing well, they're distant. But if you fall, suddenly they're concerned. You'll hear, "Wow, I can't believe they lost everything. Crazy, huh? I knew he'd mess that up eventually." She brought it on herself, honestly. These aren't just bitter comments, they're clues. When someone suffering brings another person joy, you're staring at something dangerous. You're seeing the seed of cruelty. Why do they do this? Why would anyone feel good about another person's pain? Because evil people aren't driven by love. They're driven by control, power, and ego. Watching someone fall gives them a sense of superiority. It's a high. They see life not as community, but as competition. Some use it to mask their emptiness. They can't stand others succeeding. It highlights their own failures. Others act out of deep resentment or because their empathy is gone. They're hollow. Compassion doesn't live there anymore. They find stimulation in watching someone else break. For them, it's not about right or wrong. It's about feeding their ego with another person's misery. Why it's dangerous to ignore. This may seem small at first, just a little negativity, right? But tolerating it lets it grow. The more you let it slide, the more it infects your peace. Soon, you'll find yourself drained, doubting your joy, even feeling ashamed of your happiness because someone close to you always seems to drag you down. Evil thrives in the shadows of your pain. They won't lift you. They won't cheer for you because your light disturbs their darkness. Your smile disrupts their illusion of control, so they attack it quietly, persistently, and without guilt. What you can do, if this sounds familiar, don't ignore it, don't excuse it, trust what you see. 1, create emotional distance. You don't need to confront them, but protect your energy, limit access, guard your joy. 2, surround yourself with empaths. Real friends celebrate your growth. They feel with you, not against you. 3, journal your interactions. If you're unsure, write things down. Patterns don't lie. Truth reveals itself over time. 4, trust your intuition. If something feels off, it probably is. Your gut is wiser than you think. Don't silence it. You weren't made to be someone's emotional target. You're not here to fuel someone's twisted amusement. You're meant to rise, shine, and be celebrated. On final thoughts. Pain is part of life. We all experience it. But when someone constantly feeds off pain, especially yours, you're not dealing with a difficult person. You're facing a threat to your peace, your confidence, and your safety. Don't wait for it to escalate. When someone finds joy in cruelty, believe them. Behind every harmless joke, behind every smirk during your tears, is something darker, something that grows in silence. You deserve more than that. You deserve light. You deserve peace. 2, they twist the truth and gaslight. When you think of evil, you might imagine someone with weapons or brute force. But the most destructive kind of evil doesn't attack your body, it attacks your mind. It doesn't need to raise its voice or break your bones. All it needs to do is quietly plant seeds of doubt until you start questioning your own reality. This brings us to the second and perhaps the most manipulative sign that you're dealing with an evil person. They twist the truth and they gaslight you. This tactic is subtle, it's slow, it's insidious, and it's devastating. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where someone tries to make you doubt your perception of events, your memory, and even your sanity. It is one of the most common tools in the evil person's toolbox because it gives them total control, not just over your actions, but over your mind. How it starts. At first, it's small. You bring up something they said, and they respond with, "I never said that." You express your feelings, and they say, "You're overreacting." You confront them on a boundary they crossed, and they fire back, "You're too sensitive." You walk away thinking maybe they're right. Maybe you did remember it wrong. Maybe you are being too emotional. And just like that, they've slipped past accountability and planted a crack in your sense of self. They don't scream or rage. They calmly, repeatedly rewrite reality until their version becomes the dominant one. Not because it's true, but because you're too exhausted to keep defending your own. The mask of innocence. Evil people don't walk around like villains in a movie. Often they seem rational, charming, articulate. They know how to spin stories. They present themselves as the victim. "I was only trying to help. You misunderstood me. You always twist what I say." Notice the irony? They accuse you of the very thing they are doing. This projection is part of the gaslighting formula. It keeps you defending yourself while they avoid ever being held accountable. They use calmness as a weapon. While you're hurt or frustrated, they remain eerily composed, which only fuels your self-doubt. You think, if I'm this upset and they're this calm, maybe the problem is me. But no, that calmness is not peace, it's a performance. And you are being played. How the cycle works. Gaslighting often follows a repeatable cycle. 1, they deny or twist facts, even when there's proof. 2, they shift the blame. Suddenly your pain becomes your fault. 3, they reframe the story, making themselves look like the victim or the hero. 4, they undermine your confidence with subtle digs and emotional withdrawal. 5, they repeat until you break, until you stop arguing, until you question everything. And the worst part, when you finally wake up and try to explain it to others, you sound crazy because the gaslighter has been planting stories and grooming your environment the whole time. That's how evil works. It turns truth into confusion. Signs you're being gaslit. If you're not sure whether someone is gaslighting you, look for these red flags. You second guess yourself constantly. You feel confused and foggy after conversations. You apologize more than you should. You make excuses for their behavior. You stop trusting your own judgment. You feel like you're walking on eggshells. Gaslighting is not just emotional manipulation, it's psychological warfare. And evil people use it not just to win arguments, but to control entire lives. What you can do if you suspect someone is gaslighting you, you must act swiftly to protect your mind and your heart. 1, document everything. Keep a journal of what was said and when. This keeps your truth anchored in writing when they try to erase it. 2, limit deep conversations. Don't argue with people committed to misunderstanding you. They don't want clarity, they want control. 3, talk to a third party. Confide in someone neutral and trustworthy. Outside perspectives can break the illusion gaslighters create. 4, trust your emotions. Your discomfort, your confusion, these are signals. Don't ignore them. 5, consider distance. Emotional safety is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Don't be afraid to cut ties or walk away from toxic influence. You are not crazy. Let me say this clearly. You are not crazy. You are not too sensitive. You are not imagining things. What you are feeling is real. What you experienced happened. Gaslighting is a weapon of cowards used by those too afraid to own the truth, too damaged to walk in the light. You deserve to live in truth. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve relationships where your voice matters, your memory is honored, and your reality is respected. If someone keeps trying to bend your truth, it's not love, it's control. And control is where evil lives. Thank you for watching episode 2 of 5 Signs You're Dealing With. 3, they lack genuine remorse. There is something profoundly human about remorse. It is the emotion that follows wrongdoing, a silent ache that says, I did wrong, I hurt someone, I need to make it right. Remorse is what separates people with a conscience from those without one. So what happens when someone never seems to feel it? This brings us to the third sign that you may be dealing with an evil person. They lack genuine remorse. They may say they're sorry, they may offer flowers, messages, apologies, but if you pay attention, you'll notice something missing change. Real remorse transforms behavior. It leads to reflection, humility, and different actions. But evil people don't apologize to heal, they apologize to reset control. Their apology is not a bridge, it's bait. The anatomy of false remorse. To the outside world, they might appear sincere, they say the right things, they might even cry. But if you look beyond the words, you'll find a void. They're not sorry they hurt you. They're sorry they were caught. They're sorry you're upset because it inconveniences them. The evil person uses apology as a tactic, not a truth. It's a manipulation designed to silence you, to buy time, or to rebuild the mask they wear so well. Here are a few phrases you'll hear from someone who fakes remorse. I said, I'm sorry. What more do you want? You're still bringing that up? Can't we just move on already? I didn't mean it that way. Stop twisting things. Notice how these apologies always shift the attention away from what they did and back onto your reaction. That's not remorse. That's emotional deflection. Real versus fake apologies. A genuine apology is a full body experience. It doesn't rush. It doesn't hide. It admits the full weight of the harm caused. A real apology says, I see what I did. I understand how I hurt you. Here's how I'm changing. A fake apology says, I guess I was wrong. Whatever. I didn't mean to get over it. Let's just forget it. Evil people don't want healing. They want escape. And because they feel no real guilt, they also feel no drive to grow. You'll see the same pattern over and over again. Apologize, repeat, deny, repeat. They do not heal. They harm strategically and consistently. Why lack of remorse is so dangerous. When someone lacks remorse, they lack a moral compass. And without that compass, nothing stops them from hurting others again and again. They don't lose sleep after betrayal. They don't reflect on their actions. They don't feel your pain, they exploit it. This absence of empathy is what allows evil to thrive in families, relationships, workplace, 7 entire communities. When a person has trained themselves not to care about the hurt they cause, they can become cold, calculating, and capable of great harm. Without remorse, evil is limitless. It keeps evolving, it gets smarter, not kinder, and it always comes back for more. How to respond. So what can you do when someone in your life consistently shows no real remorse? 1, don't be fooled by words alone. Listen to patterns, not apologies. Actions are louder than emotionless confessions. 2, stop accepting fake peace. When you accept shallow apologies, you teach them that manipulation works. 3, watch for repetition. If someone hurts you, apologizes, and then does the same thing again, they are not sorry. They are using you. 4, set boundaries and mean them. Cut off access if needed. Emotional safety is not negotiable. 5, heal away from them. True healing requires space from people who don't respect your pain. Protect your peace like your life depends on it, because sometimes it does. You deserve better. You deserve relationships where apologies are followed by change, where your pain is acknowledged and respected, where I'm sorry isn't a trick to reset the game, but a doorway to mutual growth. If someone constantly says sorry but leaves you feeling even more broken afterward, you're not dealing with love, you're dealing with manipulation. You're not receiving healing, you're enduring cycles of harm. Don't stay in a place where your forgiveness is used against you. Don't keep holding out hope that they will change when they show no signs of wanting to. Their lack of remorse is not your fault, but it is your warning. Your final thoughts. Remorse is the soul's way of saying, I want to do better. But when someone shows no remorse, no matter how much they've hurt, you believe them. Believe the silence in their eyes. Believe the emptiness in their words. Because what you're seeing isn't someone who made a mistake. You're seeing someone who chooses not to care. And that, my friend, is the heart of evil. 4, they isolate you. One of the most cunning strategies evil people use is not loud. It's not violent. It's not even obviously cruel. It's quiet, it's subtle, and it's devastating. They isolate you. This is the 4th major sign that you may be dealing with an evil person. They isolate you from your support system emotionally, mentally, and even physically. They don't always drag you into a cage. Instead, they build the cage around you slowly, quietly, with threads of doubt, manipulation, and false loyalty. They separate you from your strength, from your family, from your friends, from your truth. Not all at once, but piece by piece, until you look around and realize you're alone, even in a room full of people. How it begins, at first it looks like love. I just want to spend more time with you. Your friends don't treat you right. I don't trust that person's influence on you. They're jealous of what we have. It sounds protective, caring, even romantic. But look closely. It's not about protecting you. It's about protecting their control over you. Evil people cannot stand competition, and healthy relationships with others, whether it's your family, best friend, mentor, or therapist, are threats to that control. So they start subtly attacking those bonds. They cast suspicion on people who support you. They make you feel guilty for spending time with others. They create drama that forces you to pick sides. At first, you try to balance. You reassure them. You think they're just insecure. But as time goes on, you feel pressured to choose, and each time you choose them, you lose a piece of your village. OD, the tools of isolation. Evil people use a variety of psychological tools to cut you off from others. Here are a few common ones. 1, guilt tripping. Oh, so you'd rather go to lunch with her than spend time with me? 2, fear mongering. Your sister doesn't really want what's best for you. She's manipulating you. 3, sabotage, causing fights between you and your loved ones, planning lies, twisting stories. 4, victimhood. They pretend to be hurt by your other relationships to get sympathy and loyalty. 5, love bombing, overwhelming you with affection so you feel like they're all you need. Over time, this creates emotional dependence. They become your only source of validation, your only sounding board, your only emotional outlet. And that is exactly how they want it. Why it's so dangerous. When you're isolated, your reality becomes theirs. You have no one to call when something feels off. You stop trusting your gut because they've made you question it. You feel emotionally alone and slowly begin to believe that maybe that's normal. This isolation isn't just a phase, it's a system. It's how evil people keep you weak, compliant, and unsure of yourself. It's how they control you without change, because now you've stopped reaching for help. Isolation allows evil to flourish unchecked. It becomes the breeding ground for more manipulation, more abuse, more confusion. And worse, it makes leaving so much harder, because the world outside now feels unfamiliar, unwelcoming, and even dangerous. On how to recognize and escape it. Here are the warning signs that isolation is happening to you. You've lost contact with people who used to be close to you. You feel guilty when you talk to or spend time with others. You second guess your friendships and family loyalty. You hear phrases like, they're just jealous, they don't understand you like I do, or everyone else is toxic. You feel emotionally dependent on one person to validate your every thought or feeling. If this sounds familiar, here's what you can do. 1, reconnect even if it feels awkward. Reach out to someone you trust, even if it's been months or years. Say, I miss you, can we talk? You'd be surprised how many people are waiting to hear from you. 2, write down the isolation timeline. Seeing how it happened, what changed, who drifted, when the shift started can help you break the illusion. 3, speak with a therapist or mentor. A trained professional can help you understand the patterns and equip you to break free. 4, join communities that empower you. Whether online or in person, seek out safe spaces where you are seen, heard, and not judged. 5, reclaim your voice. Your opinions, choices, and beliefs are valid even if they go against what the isolator has told you. You are not meant to walk alone. Human beings are wired for connection. Love isn't supposed to cost your community, it's supposed to expand it. If someone is cutting you off from the people who care about you, that's not love, that's possession. That's not devotion, that's domination. And that's not protection, that's predation. The people who truly care about you will never ask you to shrink your world just to make space for their control. You deserve to have people around you who cheer for you, challenge. 5, they project their evil onto you. You've heard the phrase, the best defense is a good offense, but with evil people, that takes on a sinister twist. One of the most disturbing signs you're dealing with someone dangerous is this. They project their evil onto you. They accuse you of the very things they are doing. They blame you for the chaos they create. They wear your identity like a stolen mask and throw their darkness at your feet, daring you to carry it. It's psychological warfare gaslighting evolved, and it's designed to break you from the inside out. What is projection? Projection is when someone attributes their unacceptable thoughts, feelings, or actions onto someone else. But when an evil person does it, it's not deflection, it's character assassination. They lie, cheat, manipulate, and then accuse you of doing the same. They treat you poorly, then say you're abusive. They spread rumors, then claim you're the one smearing them. They twist facts so well that you begin to question your own memory, your own truth. And the longer you stay, the more your sense of self dissolves under the weight of their lies. How they do it. Evil people use psychological mirroring to flip reality. Here's how. 1, they attack, then act like victims. After lashing out, they cry, "You hurt me first." You're left feeling guilty for defending yourself. 2, they use others to spread lies. They tell friends and family you're unstable, selfish, toxic. This smear campaign isolates you. 3, they weaponize your vulnerabilities. Confidences you share become evidence against you. Your honesty becomes ammunition. 4, they escalate when you resist. If you defend yourself, they double down. Your truth is a threat. Your peace becomes betrayal. Over time, their projection doesn't just confuse you, it changes you. You become anxious, defensive, emotionally exhausted, and worst of all, you begin to doubt yourself. That's the real danger of projection. It doesn't just fool others, it fools you. Why it's so harmful? Projection allows them to avoid responsibility while rewriting your identity. Eventually, you stop trusting your instincts. You apologize for things you didn't do. You pull away from others, believing maybe you are the problem. That's exactly what they want. This is psychological inversion, a mind game that doesn't just harm, it destroys. The goal isn't peace, it's power. How to fight back. First, understand their version of you isn't real. They aren't interested in truth. They want control. Here's how you protect yourself. 1, stay grounded in reality. Keep a journal. Write down what really happened. 2, reject false narratives. Don't argue with lies. Speak your truth and walk away. 3, let integrity be your shield. Stay consistent. Stay honest. Let your actions speak. 4, lean on people who know you. They'll help you remember who you really are. 5, set firm boundaries. Boundaries expose their lack of control. That's why they hate them. 6, get support if needed. Therapy can help rebuild your confidence and clarity. You are not who they say you are. You are not manipulative just because they say you are. You are not unstable just because they can't control you. You are not evil just because you set a boundary. You are whole. You are worthy. You are healing. You don't have to carry the burden of someone else's darkness. When they project their evil onto you, it's because they can't handle their own, but you do not have to carry it. You don't have to become the villain in their story just because they need one. You are allowed to leave. You are allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to live in truth even when they fight to twist it. Final thoughts. Projection is the last desperate weapon of an evil soul, but your life is not a mirror for their lies. It's a window into your truth, your strength, and your healing. If someone keeps accusing you of what they're guilty of, stop defending yourself and start defining yourself. You are not their illusion. You are not their story. You are your own truth. If this message brought you clarity, strength, or peace, like, comment, and subscribe. Your voice might help someone else find theirs. And remember, evil only wins when good people stay silent. Now that you see the Sing speak the truth and walk in freedom,